All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Shelton.
Good afternoon, Judge.
The first defendant up is Arnold Hurling. All right, we're on the record in docket 20-01745, people of the state of Michigan versus Arnold Hurling. And sir, you are Arnold Hurling?
Yes, sir.
All right. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Yes, thank you. Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Hurling for arraignment purposes only.
This is the time set for an arraignment on the following charges. Sir, I'm going to read you the charges that have been alleged against you and then read you some of your rights in regards to those felony charges. The complaint and felony reads that on or about April 16th, 2020, at the offense location of Jerome and Elwyn Court, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, in count 1, did deliver less than 50 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance of cocaine, contrary to MCL 333.7401, parents 2, parents A, parents 4. That's a felony, 20 years and or $25,000. A consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other felony conviction. Unless sentenced to more than 1 year in prison, the court shall impose license sanctions pursuant to MCL 333.7408A. In count 2, did knowingly or intentionally possess less than 25 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance of heroin, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being 333.7403, parents 2, parents A, parents 5, or B, felony 4 years and or $25,000. Unless sentenced to more than 1 year in prison, the court shall impose license sanctions pursuant to MCL 333.7408A. There's also a habitual offender second offense notice. Take notice the defendant was previously convicted of a felony or attempt to commit a felony in that on or about June 18th of 2014. The defendant was convicted of the offense of delivery of narcotics under 50 grams, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, in the 30th Circuit Court for Detroit, State of Michigan. Therefore, the defendant is subject to the penalty provided by MCL 769.10, 1.5 times the maximum sentence on primary offense or a lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for first conviction. The court shall order to collect the DNA identification profile sampling before sentencing or disposition, if not taken at arrest. Sir, do you understand the nature of the charges that have been alleged against you?
Yes, I do.
All right, and you understand that you have certain felony rights in this matter, and I'll cover those rights in regards to what rights you have in this felony case. You have the right to a trial of any kind. You have the right to be tried by a jury or bench, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question the witnesses against you, to have the court order any witnesses that you may have for your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you in a court of law, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Sir, you are represented for this brief period for purposes of the arraignment by the public defender, Tiffany Shelton. Do you plan to seek additional representation from the public defender's office in regards to future hearings?
Yes.
All right, so I'll indicate that you do intend to seek representation from the public defender's office. Your next date in this case is you have a probable cause conference scheduled for December 16th, 2022 in front of Judge Buchanan at 9 a.m. and a preliminary examination date set on December 22nd, 2022 at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Buchanan. Sir, do you have a current address for the court file?
Yes.
And what address is that, sir?
1807 Till Avenue, Lansing, Michigan.
And do you have a current phone number for the court file?
Yes.
And what number is that, sir?
It's 459-5659.
459-5659. And what's the area code for that? Is that
313.
517?
No, it's
313?
313, sir.
All right. 313-459-5659.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Are you employed?
Yes.
And where are you employed, sir?
I'm a manager for Gardner White.
Say that again, Gardner Way?
Yes.
And where's that located?
It's in Arbor Hills, sir.
I'll automatically enter a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, thank you. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Hurling this morning. He indicated he's been living in Lansing since 2010. He does have family ties to the area. He's employed, as he just indicated. He's been working for the same company for the past year. He indicated when he has court, he always shows up, and that he doesn't have any assaultive felonies on his record. He does have some convictions, but nothing assaultive in nature. This instant offense doesn't allege any assault. It has alleged to have occurred back in April of 2020. I would ask the court to consider releasing on a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, if you're able to make bond in this case, I'm going to set the following bond conditions. There'll be no use of alcohol or drugs, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no possession of a firearm, and you're to report to pretrial services within 48 hours if you are able to make bond. The court observes at least one minor misdemeanor, but then a host of felony drug-related felonies. However, that came down to one count of one guilty plea count on that narcotics violation. There's a second narcotics violation out of 2016. Bench warrant was issued for the defendant out of 2017. That was issued out of 53rd District Court, according to the CCH. Court's going to set a bound in this matter of 3,000, 10%. Anything else for the record in docket 20-01745, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, that's all for this file. Your next dates are December 16th, 2022 in front of Judge Buchanan, and the prelim is set for December 22nd. That's all for the record on that file. Next, we'll have Malik M. Yazi. This one right here.
Oh, I see you.
All right. So we're on the record, docket 22-03285. Sir, you are Malik M. Yazi?
Yes.
All right.
Yazi.
Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Tiffany
Yeah.
Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Yazid, who's appearing today, and my purpose is only for the limited arraignment only.
All right, sir, I'm gonna tell you that and arraign you on the charges that have been alleged against you, and then read you some rights you have in these felony charges. The complaint felony reads that on or about September 29th of 2022 at the offense location of 6440 South Pennsylvania Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, that yourself, Malik Monet Yazid, did in count one, did in the course of committing a larceny of a silver Chevrolet, a motor vehicle, used force or violence against Aisha Davis, the operator of the motor vehicle, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being MCL 750.529A, that being a felony, life or any term of years, a consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction arising out of the same transaction, DNA to be taken upon arrest. Did in count two, did make an assault upon Aisha Davis by strangulation or suffocation, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being MCL 750.84, that being a felony, 10 years and or $5,000, DNA to be taken upon arrest. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. The court shall order law enforcement to collect a DNA identification profiling sample before sentencing or disposition if not taken at arrest. Do you understand the nature of these charges against you, sir?
Yes, I do understand the natures, but can I explain the natures?
No,
I don't think you should at this point. I think at this point you should just be arraigned and listen to Ms. Shelton from the Public Defender's Office, who you can talk to about the charges in this event. Okay, sir?
Okay, is there another question for me so I can answer? Because I have something to say if that's okay with you, sir?
Well, any comments concerning the facts of the case should be directed towards Ms. Shelton. Let me walk you through your felony rights concerning both of these charges. You have the right to a trial of any kind, jury or bench trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You have the right for the court to order any witnesses that you may have in your defense to appear at trial. You have the right to remain silent during trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you in a court of law. You have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify at trial. Do you understand your trial rights on both of these felony counts, sir?
No, I don't. Can you say it one more time? I don't.
Sure. Yep. If you have the right to a trial of any kind on both of these felony charges, you have a right to be tried by jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses against them that would be brought against you, to have the court order any witnesses that you may need for your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to. Do you understand those rights you would have at trial?
It's all just running through my head. I kind of understand. Yes, I do. I do understand. But the paper that the officer gave me that I had a warrant for, it said grand theft auto and a battery assault. It didn't have my name. It said grand theft auto.
All right. I'm only telling you what's been filed in the complaint against you for today, sir.
Okay, but
So
I don't know my Isha or anything. Who's my Isha might have been my mom's friend, but my mom died when I was in Mason County Jail, and I got a
Mr.
phone call
Yazid,
during-
you need to stop talking about the facts of the case. I'm advising you to stop talking.
I think it would be a good idea to listen to your attorney and not talk about the facts of the case at this point.
Okay, so
Sir,
it's
you
not
have a
facts?
probable cause. This is not the time for that, okay?
Okay.
There's a probable cause conference set for December 16th, 2022 at 9:30, and a preliminary examination set for December 22nd, 2022. Both of those will be in front of myself, Judge Flores.
Mhm.
What's that? Is it Judge Buchanan?
Because you can.
Oh, that is Judge Buchanan because I won't be here. All right. So it'll be in front of Judge Buchanan. Sir, do you plan to retain or do you plan to seek court-appointed counsel for future hearings in this? Ms. Shelton is your court-appointed counsel just for arraignment. Do you plan to seek a court-appointed counsel at the Public Defender's Office for future hearings?
He's made application.
Okay, so the answer is yes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a current address for the court file, sir?
A current just for the court file?
Yeah, current address.
For where I live?
Yeah, for where you live.
Okay, I live at West Mall Drive. And my brother stays right at the end of the apartment. I think it's 15. I think, but I don't remember.
All right.
It's this West Mall Drive. That's all I know. I don't know the address, the apartment number. I really wish I would have remembered it and said it over and over. And
His brother's here first.
All right. Hold on and I'll get the address. Your brother's here.
okay. Thank you. My brother is here.
Judge, if I could have someone put the address in the chat, because he was not able to provide the address to me.
All right. I'll restate it for the record once I get it in case and then we can put it in chat. Apartment 167.
Yeah, Lansing, Michigan. And the zip code for that is 48917.
48917. All right, Ms. Shelton, I have 5608 Mall Drive West, apartment 167, Lansing, Michigan, 48917.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Sir, are you on probation or parole?
No, I'm not.
Are you employed?
No.
I'm going to enter automatically a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Ms. Shelton, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, Judge, I would. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Yazid this morning. He indicated to me that he's been living in Lansing for the past 5 years, that he does have ties to the Lansing area. He indicated to me that if released on bond, he would be able to stay with his brother, who obviously is in the courtroom right now. He is not employed at this time. He is a recipient of Social Security income. He's not able to work. He indicated he does. He's a participant of CMH services, that he goes there weekly for treatment. He's indicated that he always shows up to court whenever he has court, that he's not on probation or parole. He indicated one prior assault of crime in nature, an attempt resisting and obstructing a police officer. I understand the seriousness of the allegations, and they are allegations at this point. He does have the presumption of innocence. I don't think the court will release on a personal recognizance bond. I actually don't even think it's appropriate to ask for that, given that the carjacking is a life offense. So I would ask the court to consider releasing on a low 10%. Mr. Yazid does have some mental health struggles, and I don't think being remanded or being in the Ingham County Jail for a long time would be conducive to his treatment. So I would ask the court to consider releasing on a low 10%. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll indicate before I go to the arraignment codes, I will indicate that the Ingham County prosecutors have indicated several bond recommendations concerning this case. To start with, that the crimes charged involves a violence towards another person. They request no bond or a high money bail bond. So that was for the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office recommendation. I'll indicate if you're able to make bond, the following bond conditions are set. GPS is ordered. And there would be a no contact order. So there'd be no assaultive behavior, no alcohol or drugs, no out-of-state travel, no contact order with an Aisha Davis. That is 1,500 feet. The GPS would be pursuant to a zone. So it'd be a zone notification as opposed to the victim notification, which I've learned is preferable. And no contact on work. school, or home environment. So no contact with Aisha Davis. No use of no possession of firearms. You report to pretrial services within 48 hours if you're able to make bond. I have, as a part of bond, the following charges. Previous charging, I have an attempt R&O out of 2014. I have a domestic assault out of 2014. I have a second domestic assault out of 2015. I have a domestic assault out of 2016. I have an attempt R&O out of 2018. On these two life offenses, the court's going to remand you based on the assault of prior crimes and the life offense. So your bond is remanded to jail. Any questions, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, based on Mr. Yazid's reaction, I'm not sure if he's understanding that he does not have a bond or that he's being remanded.
You can readdress bond, any bond to be set at your probable cause conference, but until that date of December 16th, you're remanded, okay, sir?
Okay, so what's that mean? So I'm going to jail for something I
That
didn't
means
do?
you will readdress bond at December 16th. You'll be in jail until then.
Until December 16th?
Well, that's when your defense attorney gets the motion for bond.
Wait, but can you explain it to me better, please? I know you, please explain it better to me.
Based
so
on
I
your
can
criminal
understand.
history, based on your criminal history, based on the life offenses that you're charged with, you don't get a bond today. You're remanded to jail.
Okay, but somebody remanded me a warrant saying I put my hands on Aisha. Who is Aisha? I don't know Aisha.
I don't think you should talk about the facts of this case, sir.
Okay, so no facts. Okay, so sit there and do my time until December 15th?
Well, until you're making application to the public defender's office, and you should talk to them about the facts of the case.
Cool.
The public defender's office, your lawyer.
Okay, do I even have a lawyer?
Well, you're gonna make applications, my understanding.
Okay, I don't know how to do that though. I need help with this. I'm just saying I need your help. That's all I'm asking for is your help. That's all I'm asking for is help.
Ms. Shelton, has he made application to your office?
Judge, she's already filled out the application with me this morning. It'll be submitted after the arraignment.
All right, so your application will be submitted after the arraignment, and then you can talk, if you're accepted, you can talk to a lawyer at that time.
Wait, say it one more time. I'm sorry. We said it too fast. I'm trying to understand. My
All right,
brain's
so
not moving fast for my
all right,
hearing.
so you've made application to the public defender's office already. And
Yeah.
so they will be in contact with you if you meet their requirements, and you can talk to your lawyer at that time.
So when I'm in the jail?
That's correct.
Okay, so, and I got court on December 15th, right?
16th.
December
16th?
16th is your probable cause conference, December 16th.
Okay, okay, so there's no, how can I beat this? How can I beat this? Cause I didn't.
I
Mr.
can't help you. I can't help you with that, sir. So that's all for the record in docket 22-03285. This arraignment, this file is complete.
Can you guys say how y'all can do this sometimes like this, man?
Really stuff, man.
Like for real, man. Really. Oh, y'all fucking.
Doing it. And then we'll do, Mr. Carlson, David Carlson.
What do I?
Oh, no, you have to say, no, that's. I have to sign any of this.
No, they're just in there
All
for,
right.
we can do them ahead of time. They're already signed.
All right, on the record in docket 22-03255. That is People of the State of Michigan versus David Carlson. Sir, you are David Carlson?
Yes, sir.
All right. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Carlson for arraignment purposes only.
And sir, I'm going to read the allegations that have been brought against you in the complaint and felony, and then I'll walk you through some rights that you have on these felony counts. Okay, sir? All right. The complaint and felony reads that on or about August 5th, 2022, at the offense location of 3121 East Grand River Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that yourself, David Glenn Carlson, did in count one carry a dangerous weapon, to wit, a pistol, whether concealed or otherwise, in a vehicle operated or occupied by said defendant, to wit, a black truck, contrary to the law of the State of Michigan, that being MCL 750.227. It's a felony, 5 years, under $2,500, mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device. Court shall order law enforcement to collect a DNA identification profiling sample before sentencing or disposition if not taken at arrest. Do you understand the nature of these felony charges, this felony charge that has been brought against you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have certain rights in this felony trial that I'll walk you through. You have the right to a trial of any kind. You have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You of course are represented by Tiffany Shelton from the Public Defender's Office for purposes of this arraignment. Do you plan on seeking additional representation from the Public Defender's Office?
I am undecided at this time.
Okay, you're undecided at this point in time. Ms. Shelton, did he fill out an application?
So Judge, we did fill out an application. He indicated that he was considering retaining a Cody Crane out of Kalamazoo. But I indicated that his probable cause conference comes up pretty quickly and he should at least have representation by our office until he hires someone.
All right. So with that understanding, the application process is filled out and the defendant may seek representation from the PD or legal representation from a Cody Crane. Understand that Ms. Shelton is correct. The probable cause conference does come up by December 16th, just so you're aware of that. You have the right to have witness against you appear at trial. You have the right to question the witnesses against you. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at trial. You have the right to remain silent during trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your trial rights in this felony matter?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have a current address for the court file, sir?
P.O. Box 610, Owasso, Michigan, 48867.
P.O. Box 610, Owasso, Michigan. What's that zip code again?
48867.
48867. Do you have a phone number, sir?
Yes, sir. 928 716
Go ahead. 928
716 4274.
4274. Okay. Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Are you employed?
No, sir. Social Security.
All right. Your next date is a probable cause conference on December 16th, 2022. That's from Judge Buchanan. At 9 a.m. in front of Judge Buchanan. And a preliminary examination is set for the following date, December 22nd, 2022, at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Buchanan. The court will automatically enter a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Ms. Shelton, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, I would. I spoke with Mr. Carlson this morning. He indicated, well, he provided the same PO box to me. He indicated he also uses his ex-wife's address in Owasso. He received Social Security income, so he's unable to work at this time. He indicated he always shows up to court. Understanding that he is accused of being in possession of a weapon, there's no allegation of violence here. He indicated some prior convictions, but nothing assaultive in nature. I would ask the court to consider releasing on a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
The court, if you're able to make bond, the following bond conditions will be set. No use of alcohol or drugs, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no contact with the victim. I'm sorry, no victim in this case, so I'm gonna X that. No firearms, no possession of a firearm. If you're able to make bond, you're to report to pretrial services within 48 hours. This is it's a weapons offense. It's a gun offense. It's a 5-year. I have absolutely no criminal history or limited criminal history in regards to this matter. Because it's a weapon offense, I don't believe a PR bond is going to be given, but I will set bond at a low 10%, so it's $1,000, 10%. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03255, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right. You're all set, Mr. Carlson. Your next date will be December 16th, 2022. I would figure out if you want to be represented by the public defender or by your own counsel. Make sure you figure it out by that date, okay, sir?
Yes, sir, I understand. I do have accident that I just was on. They brought me here from St. Joe's County because of a accident with a vehicle causing death, and there's 7 felony charges there. So I got a court date of the 20th there and the 27th. So all these court dates are just compiled like it's going to be impossible to get counsel and make all these. Is there any possible way that we can further these out or do something?
Well, I think Ms. Shelton will put that as a part of her arraignment, with the understanding that you've got multiple counts in another file right now. I would just let whoever your next counsel for this file is, make sure they know that December 16th date is your next date that you'll be doing court, okay?
Okay, I get, okay.
All right.
And I don't understand the bond. What do I need to get out on bond today? What cash do I need?
What sounds?
$100.
$100.
Okay.
That's all for the record, docket 22-03255.
You can follow up on here, Mr. Carlson. Over.
And then we'll go on the record in Tyrese L. Mitchell. All right, we're on the record in docket 22-03336. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Tyrese Mitchell. And sir, you are Tyrese Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
All right, counsel, your appearance for the record.
Yes, thank you. Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Mitchell for arraignment purposes only.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, I'm going to read you the charges that have been alleged against you in the complaint. They're allegations at this point, and then I'm going to read you some misdemeanor rights you have pursuant to this file. Do you understand that, sir?
Understood.
All right, thank you. It is alleged in the misdemeanor complaint that on or about July 20th, 2022, at the offense location of 128 South Hosmer, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, the defendant Tyrese Lamont Mitchell did in count 1 make an assault or an assault and battery upon Jasmine Smith, an individual with whom he has a child in common or an individual with whom he has a dating relationship. Contrary to the laws of the state of Michigan, that being MCL 750.81 parents 2. There's also restitution as a matter of notice in this file. If this offense resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual pursuant to state laws, Michigan state laws 780.811A, restitution may be ordered in this case. This is a misdemeanor, 93 days and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the nature of the domestic assault charge against you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have the following misdemeanor trial rights in this case. You have the right to have a trial by judge or jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have the witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses against you. You are, of course, represented by purposes of arraignment only by the public defender's office by way of Tiffany Shelton. Do you plan to seek further public defender representation in regards to this file?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll place yes in the file in regards to the PD office. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you may have in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you in a court of law. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Sir, your next pretrial date in this matter is December 29th, 2022 at 1:30 in front of myself, Judge Flores. Do you have a current address for the court file?
4927 Unit G, South Waverly Road, Lansing, Michigan, 48911.
And do you have a phone contact number?
517-894-8756.
Are you on parole or probation, sir?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where are you employed?
Zoop Eatery on South Washington, 214 South Washington.
Is it 491? 493. All right. I'll automatically enter not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Mitchell this morning. He's lived in Lansing his entire life. He does have family ties to the Lansing area. He's been working for Zoop for the past 3 years. He's never failed to appear in court, and he doesn't have any other cases pending. So he also indicated that he does have some prior convictions, but nothing violent in nature. I would like to indicate to the court that he did self-surrender on this warrant. So I would ask the court to consider releasing on a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, counsel. Just to double check, that 4927 South Waverly Apartment G, is that the residence of Jasmine Smith or not?
No, sir. She lives on High.
All right. Okay. So if you're able to make bond on this case, I'm going to set the following bond conditions. GPS tether will be ordered with zone verification. No assaultive behavior. No alcohol or drugs. No out-of-state travel. No contact with victim. The victim in this case is Jasmine Smith. There's no contact with Jasmine Smith. That's 1,500 feet of work home, or place of business, or work, home, or school. So stay 1,500 feet away from Miss Smith. No firearms. You're, I believe defense counsel's right. You have a prior larceny building and then some minor offenses. This is a domestic assault, which is an assaultive crime, which I'm not amenable to doing a PR bond. However, I will set a lower bond of $2,000, 10%.
So $200.
$200, sir. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03336, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record in this file, Mr. Mitchell.
Thanks, sir.
We're on the record in Mr. Siebert. All right, I'm kind of call to the record docket 22-03234. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Marcus Siebert. Sir, you are Marcus Siebert.
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Siebert for arraignment purposes only.
All right, Mr. Siebert, I'm going to read you the allegations that have been brought against you in this misdemeanor count. The complaint misdemeanor reads that on or about October 24th, 2022, at the offense location of 1200 Regent Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, yourself, Marcus Siebert, did in count one make an assault and or assault and battery upon Jenna Smith, a resident or former resident of his household, or an individual with whom he had a dating relationship, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being MCL 750.81 parents 2. Restitution may be ordered in this case if there's resulted damage to an individual's property or physical injury or death. So restitution may be ordered under the laws of the state of Michigan. This is a misdemeanor, 93 days and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the nature of the charges that have been brought against you, sir?
Yes, I do, sir.
I'm gonna read you. I'll walk you through some of the rights you have in this misdemeanor case. You have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be a trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You have the right to a lawyer, and you are represented today by attorney Tiffany Shelton from the Public Defender's Office. Do you plan to seek further representation from the Public Defender's Office, sir?
I don't know. Just what I can, I'm the court appointed.
Or
Yeah.
did Ms. Shelton, did he make application to the Public Defender's Office?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to indicate for the court's record that you did make application to the Public Defender's Office. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses to appear for your defense at trial. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you, and you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your misdemeanor trial rights in this matter, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your next hearing date in this file is December 19th. It's set for pretrial at 10 a.m. in front of Judge Buchanan. Do you have a current address for the court file, sir?
Yes.
And what is that?
3918 Yilborn Lane.
3918. What was what was that street again?
Yilborn Lane. Lansing, Michigan.
Lansing, and what zip code?
48911.
All right. Do you have a phone number, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what's your number?
It's 517 962
517?
962
Okay.
1510.
All right. Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
And where are you employed, sir?
K&B bulk removal. Bulk
A
trash
and
removal.
B.
K.
Say it again.
and B. K and B bulk removal, bulk and trash removal.
Okay. Do you know the address, sir?
No, I don't.
Okay.
A lot is the car. I keep the cars in my wallet.
All right. The court will automatically enter a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you. I spoke with Mr. Siebert this morning. He's indicated he's been living in Lansing for the past 7 years. He does have family ties here. He started working yesterday with his friend at the company he listed to the court. He indicated that he's never failed to appear in court and that he doesn't have any criminal convictions. So I would ask the court to release on a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
Thank you. I have prior convictions for Mr. Siebert. I have a 2006 conviction for B&E that he pled guilty to. I have 2 counts of home invasion second out of 2008 out of the 16th Circuit Court that pled guilty to. I have an R&O out of 2017 that he pled guilty to. So, sir, if you're able to make bond in this matter, I'll set the following bond conditions. I'm going to order GPS tether to be ordered with zone verification. No alcohol or drugs, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no contact with the victim in this case, which is Jenna Smith. That is work, school, or residence. 1,500 feet from Jenna Smith. No possession of a firearm. In regards to the criminal history, I don't see a history of fail to appear, but I do have somewhat of a valid 3 prior felonies, 4 prior felonies in this case. So I don't believe a PR bond is appropriate. I'll set bond at $3,000, 10%. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03234, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, Mr. Siebert, your next date is December 19th, 2022, in front of Judge Buchanan. So that'll be your next pretrial date.
Thank you, John.
You're all set. We have Andre Briner. So this is a new file, right?
Here's a new file registration.
All right, so call to the record docket 22-03398. People of the state of Michigan versus Andre J. Briner. Sir, you are Andre Briner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, your appearance for the record.
Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Briner for arraignment purposes only.
All right. Sir, I'm going to read you the felony complaint that has been filed against you in this felony matter. The felony complaint alleges that on or about December 7th, 2022, South Pennsylvania / Bement, City of Lansing, Ingham County, the defendant Andre Briner did in count 1 knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine contrary to MCL 333.740, parents 2, parents B, parents I. It's a felony 10 years and or $15,000. The court shall order law enforcement to collect the DNA identification profiling sample before sentencing or disposition if not taken at arrest. Sir, do you understand the nature of this felony charges that have been brought against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to walk you through some of your felony rights in this trial. In this case, in this felony case, you have the right to have a trial of any kind, be tried by judge or jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question the witnesses against you. You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Tiffany Shelton in this file. Do you plan to seek further representation from the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to indicate yes to the PD's office. You have the right to have the witnesses against you questioned. You have the right for the court to order any witnesses to appear in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you, and you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your trial rights in this felony case, Mr. Briner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the next date I have been set for is a probable cause conference in front of Judge Buchanan on December 16th, 2022 at 8:30, and a preliminary examination in front of Judge Buchanan on December 22nd, 2022 at 8:30. Do you have a current address for the court file?
11, yes, Your Honor.
Is that the Bennington Drive address?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so 1116
Bennington
Bennington Drive.
Lansing, Michigan 48917.
All right, Lansing 48917. Thank you. Do you have a phone number for the court file?
517-492-7058.
All right. Are you employed, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where are you employed at?
Work at Frank's Press Box for about 2.5, 3 years now.
And that's on the west side, right? On Saginaw?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
Probation currently.
Okay. All right. I'm going to automatically enter a not guilty plea for this date on arraignment on this file. Counsel, would you like to be heard on bond?
Judge, do you have another file to arraign him on for a probation?
I do. I have a failed to appear on a probation to me. He was supposed to be in a probation hearing on, looks like December 7th.
5th.
December 5th, yeah. So I have a probation violation arraignment, second file.
Do you want me to address bond now or after you go over the second file?
Well, that's a great question, Ms. Shelton. I'll let you defer your argument on bond, and I'll set the bond conditions in this case. I have a pending probation violation in front of myself. I have a R&O guilty plea. I have a delivery and manufacture out of 2014. I have a weapons offense out of 2019. I have a possession out of 2019. I have a no contest on a driving, operating while intoxicated out of 2021. So I'm gonna, let's defer argument on that, and I'll go ahead and arraign him on the second file. And then we'll go from there, and I'll let you make your address your bond argument. Sir, you have docket 21-01725, which is you were set for probation violation hearing on December 5th, in which you failed to appear. So Nathaniel Neves, the court officer, signed a motion and affidavit for bench warrant on December 5th, 2022. In regards to your probation violation hearing for failed to appear, when you were set to appear on that probation violation. So I have two files, one possession file and one probation hearing file. Ms. Shelton, would you like to be heard an allocution on both files?
Yes, thank you. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Briner this morning with respect to the probation violation, missing that court date on Monday. It's my understanding he indicated he did not receive the date, so he was unaware that he was supposed to be in court on Monday. He has lived in the Lansing area his entire life. He does have family ties here. He's been gainfully employed for the past 2.5, 3 years. He indicated his failure to appear at the probation violation hearing on Monday is his only failure to appear. He, as the court is well aware, he does have some prior convictions. I would ask the court to consider a low 10%. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. In regard to the current file we have, I have a failed to appear on September 12th, 2022. I have a failed to appear on November 28th, failed to appear 2022. And then I have a failed to appear December 5th, 2022, in regards to the probation violation. So I'm going to set bond on the controlled substance matter, which is a 10-year at 3,010%, because the defendants failed to appear in previous matters and no indication that he plans on appearing. Oh, and let's do the bond conditions on that drug case. So the following bond conditions will be set if they're able to make bond: no use of alcohol or drugs, no out-of-state travel, no possession of a firearm, no assaultive behavior, and a report to pretrial within 48 hours if you're able to make the 3,010% bond. But quite honestly, that's kind of moot, because in order to ensure Mr. Briner's appearance at the next probation violation, I'm going to remand him on the failure to appear until December 15th at 1:30, which that will be addressed at that time. But he's remanded on the violation of bond for fail to appear, which to me is the fourth fail to appear. Yes.
He showed up late, so we resent a form and I gave him his notice to appear in person.
So I do have information that on the previous fail to appear, that he showed up late. He was given notice in hand and then failed to appear on that date. So Mr. Briner, to make sure you're here for your probation violation, you're going to be remanded to the Ingham County Jail until December 15th at 1:30. Anything else on either one of those files, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record in docket 22-03398 and 21-01725.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Now the fail to appears, every single time that I failed to appear, I was there and I was just there late.
I believe I
You're
had,
not gonna be late this time, Mr. Briner. All right. All right, we're off the record in the Briner matter. We'll do Joyce Sadowski next. So we're called to the record docket 22-03397. It's people of the state of Michigan versus Joy M. Sadowski. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Tiffany Shelton with Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Ms. Sadowski for arraignment purposes only.
And Ms. Sadowski, I'm going to read you the allegations in this misdemeanor complaint, and then I'll walk you through some rights you have in the file. Okay, ma'am? All right. The complaint misdemeanor alleges that on or about December 7th, 2022, at the offense location of 515 Jones Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, yourself, Joy Michelle Sadowski, did in count one make an assault or an assault and battery upon Michael Fink, an individual with whom she had a dating relationship, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being MCL 750.81 parents 2. This case does have the potential for restitution if the offense resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. Restitution may be ordered pursuant to 780.811A. This is a misdemeanor, 93 days and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the nature of the allegations brought against you, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, I'm going to read you some of your misdemeanor rights you have in this trial, in this file. You have the right to have a bench jury or bench or trial by jury. You have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have the witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses against you. You, of course, are represented by public defender Tiffany Shelton in this case. Do you plan to seek additional representation from the public defender's office?
yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you, and you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify at trial. Do you understand the nature of your rights in this case, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
You're set for pre-trial on January 9th in front of Judge Ward at 10:30 on December 7th. I'm sorry. On January 9th, 2023, you're set for pre-trial in front of Judge Ward at 10:30. Do you have an address for the court file, ma'am?
Yes, it is 1021 South Hickory.
1021 South Hickory.
Yes,
All right. And that's Lansing, Michigan,
yep, 48912.
48912. Are you on probation or parole?
No,
Do you have a phone number for the court file?
yes, it's 517-599-0943.
Are you employed, ma'am?
Yes,
And where are you employed?
I'm a property manager for a private landowner. So I'm employed by an individual named John Crone.
John Brown, you said?
Crone, K-R-O-H-N.
Oh, Crump. Okay, thank you. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you. I spoke with Ms. Sadowski this morning. She's lived in Lansing for the past 15 years. She does have family ties here. She's been gainfully employed for the past 2 years. She indicated that she doesn't have a history of failing to appear, and she also indicated she doesn't have any criminal history. So I would ask the court to release on a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
So, ma'am, if you're able to make bond, I'm going to set the following bond conditions. GPS tether is ordered with zone verification and notification. no use of alcohol or drugs, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no contact with the victim in this case, who is Michael Fink. That means that you're to have no contact with Michael Fink, which includes 1,500 feet of work, residence, or school. No use, no possession of firearms. I've looked at Ms. Sadowski's criminal history. It is 0. There is no criminal history here. It is a domestic assault. I consider that to be a case that I will not issue a PR bond on. However, I will set a low bond on this case at $500, 10%. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03397, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record. We're done on 22-03397. Your next date of appearance, ma'am, will be January 9th at 10:30.
Correct.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll do Bobby Lakia.
Leha.
Leah. All right, we're on the record in docket 22-03399. And sir, you are Bobby Leha?
Yes,
All right, appearance for the record, counsel?
Yes, thank you. Tiffany Shelton with Hingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Leha for arraignment purposes only.
All right, Mr. Leah, I'm going to read you the allegations that have been brought against you in the complaint. The complaint alleges that on December 6, 2022, at the offense location of 1317 North Walnut, City of Lansing, Hingham County, that you yourself, Bobby Leha, did in count 1 make an assault and battery upon Vanessa Hernandez, an individual with whom he had a child in common, or a resident or former resident of his household, or an individual with whom he had a dating relationship, contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that being 750.81 parents 2. Restitution may be ordered in this case if there was damage to an individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual pursuant to MCL 780.811A. This is a misdemeanor, 93 days and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the laws of the state of Michigan if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the nature of the misdemeanor charge that has been brought against you, sir?
yes,
All right. You have certain trial rights in this matter, and I'll walk through those trial rights with you. You in this file, you have the right to be tried by a judge or jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have, of course, have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have the witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You, of course, are represented by Tiffany Shelton from the Public Defender's Office. Do you plan to seek additional representation from the Public Defender's Office?
yes,
All right, I'm going to say yes to PD. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses to appear in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silent used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify at trial. Do you understand these rights, these trial rights you have in this misdemeanor case?
yes,
All right. Do you have a current address for the court's file?
1317 North Walnut, Lansing, Michigan. I think it's 48906 or 11, I'm not sure.
So it's the Walnut address, 1317 Walnut?
Yes,
All right. And sir, so this is a domestic assault case. That is not the same residence that Vanessa Hernandez?
no,
All right. Do you have a phone number for the court file?
956-225-9423.
All right. Are you on probation or parole?
No,
Are you employed, sir?
yes, Davenport Masonry. And I don't know the address. I know it's in Hope though, Hope, Michigan. So,
All right. It's in Holt, Michigan.
yeah,
Okay, your next hearing for this is on December 7th. I'm sorry, that's today's date. It is January 23rd, 2023 at 9:30. January 23rd, 2023 at 9:30 in front of Judge Ward. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for purposes of this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, thank you. I spoke with Mr. Leha this morning. He's indicated he's lived in Lansing his entire life. He does have family ties here. He's a homeowner. He's been working for the past 8 years with the same company. He indicated he's never failed to appear in court. He also indicated no prior criminal convictions. So I would ask the court to release on a PR bond. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have involvement with the criminal justice system that did not end in conviction that I've reviewed. It's a domestic assault. If you're able to make bond, I will set the following bond conditions. So there'll be GPS zone verification ordered. No use of alcohol or drugs. No assaultive behavior. No out-of-state travel. No contact with the victim, Vanessa Hernandez. That is 1,500 feet. No contact with Vanessa Hernandez, period. That includes 1,500 feet of school, work, or residence. No firearms or possession of firearms. And I'm going to set bond in this matter. I have a limited CCH history, although some involvement. It's a domestic assault, so I'm not going to issue a PR bond on it. I will issue a low 10% bond. And so I will issue a bond for $2,000, 10%.
I have a question. What's the?
So that would be,
GPS?
so 10% of 2,000 would be $200, sir.
No, the GPS thing, I guess I don't know what that
I'll
is.
explain it to you.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Remind me.
if you have any questions, ask the jail moderator and he'll explain it to you. All right, sir?
Yep.
All
thank
right,
you.
anything else for the record on docket 22-03399, Ms. Shelton?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in that file.
Thank you.
Just sit down. I'll make sure you don't have any questions.
We have a Margaret McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre, this is an arraignment on a previous 2 collections files. That's 1800030 and 1801515. In regards to a warrant has been issued in regards to a balance on one collection file of $648. And the warrant was issued on another collections file, balance due $1,468.44. I think both of these warrants were issued for the failure to pay costs. That's why a warrant was issued, ma'am. Do you understand the nature of the allegations brought against you?
Yes, I do.
All right. It appears that one of these allegations came out of a domestic assault.
I pled guilty to jostling.
Okay. So jostling, and was the other one came out of a tax file?
Correct.
All right. Ma'am, it's my inclination here to refer both matters to collections, because I mean, you're over the $2,000 mark in regards to both files, 1468 and 648. Is there a way that you can set up some plan with collections so we can avoid you showing up and we bench warning on these collection matters?
Yes, I can. I receive social security, so I can set up a monthly payment plan.
All right, I'm gonna refer the $648 to collections. I'm gonna refer the second file, which I have a tax case and an outstanding balance of $1,468.44. I'm going to refer to collections. Man, within 48 hours of being released today, so you're going to be released today. You're to report to the City of Lansing Collections Bureau so that you can set up a plan in order to start paying this. If you don't, you're just going to get picked up on another warrant, and we're just going to end up right back here again. And you don't want that, or I don't want that, right?
Correct.
All right. So I'm going to indicate for the record that you're going to report to the City of Lansing Collections within 48 hours. And I'll put
Okay.
that in both files. All right, ma'am, you're all set. Refer to the City of Lansing Collections within 48 hours to start setting up some type of plan to deal with some of these debt issues. All right, ma'am?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're all set.
You just sit down for 1 second.
Here's Janet. Should I let Janet in?
I will wait till we're done.
What's that?
I will wait till we're done with the arraignments.
Oh,
We still have that mobile one.
okay.
Right, but I'm saying.
Go ahead and move her out.
For nothing
I put Janet in, but I think Wendy's right. We should probably, we don't need to have her. So we have Mr. Richmond left, right?
If I asked Jeff, he's supposed to be seeing her if he's still in isolation or.
All right. Do we still need to see Mr. Richmond?
Yes, sir, if you're ready, I can go set the mobile card up.
All right, we're ready for him. When you're ready.
Sounds good, I'm on my way.
Ms. Sheldon, it's my understanding that you did not see Mr. Richmond. Is that correct?
That's correct. And he's actually one of my clients, so we can just go right on the record.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right, can you hear us, Your Honor?
Yeah. All right, we'll go on the record in docket 21-03269 and 22-02986. These are both bench warrant files. Counsel, your appearance for the record. Oh, you're muted, Ms. Shelton.
Sorry. Tiffany Shelton
That's
with
okay.
Ingham County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Richmond. I will note for the file that I actually represent him for these cases.
All right. This is the time set for an arraignment. I will go through the allegations on a bench warrant in regards to the 21-03269 bench warrant first. Mr. Richmond, sir, by the way, you are Michael Allen Richmond. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. It is alleged in a motion affidavit and bench warrant signed by Kelly Giesinger on November 15th that you were in contempt of court for failing to appear at a pretrial on November 15th, 2022 in regards to this trespassing in file 21-03269. My understanding that you have a right, your next date on this file, this bench warrant file, would be on December 20th, 2022 at 9:30 in front of Judge Buchanan. Do you understand the nature of the allegation for this bench warrant being issued, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next date is pretrial is December 20th on 22 at 9:30. You also, and by the way, I don't see that. So bond was originally set on this case, but I don't see. Well, we'll wait on that. On docket 22-02986. This is on a bench warrant on that case. Also on this case, bond was set at $350 cash or surety by Judge Buchanan in her file for a fail to appear on November 15, 2022 for the pretrial on this file 22-02986. And the original count was the 90-day hinder and oppose the city of Lansing under the city of Lansing ordinance. Do you understand the nature of the bench warrant issued in that file, sir?
Can you repeat that?
Say it again, sir.
Can you repeat that?
Sure. There was a bench warrant issued on November 15th for fail to appear at the pretrial on the city ordinance case on November 15th.
Good.
All right. Bond was set on that file for that bench warrant at $350 cash or surety. Ms. Shelton, would you like to be heard on bond? I know you haven't had the opportunity to interview Mr. Richmond, but I do know that you are assigned to both of these files in front of Judge Buchanan.
Yes, Judge. Given the failure to appear on both cases, I would ask the court to set a reasonable bond, a low 10%. I don't think the court's going to set a personal recognizance bond based on the failure to appear, but I would ask the court to consider releasing on a reasonable 10%. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Shelton. I think that it says Judge Buchanan's case and it is her bench warrant. So I'll leave bond set by Judge Buchanan at $350 cash or surety on both files.
Hello?
Derek, can I get a PR bond? I don't have any family. My family has passed away. And so, I mean, there's no way for me to do any of that. I don't have any family. Okay, especially here in Michigan, when I don't get the fair trials.
All right. I understand that. I understand what you're indicating, sir.
You guys do not even offer me fairness. You guys don't take into consideration or accountability for anything you guys have done wrong.
All right. So bond is set at the $350 cash surety bond. Ms. Shelton, of course, you can revisit bond on the 20th in front of Judge Buchanan. I know you're the counsel on both of these files, and this is her case. So I will set bond on both files at 350 cash and surety.
On today or what?
Okay, Judge.
Unless you do.
How many days do we have?
Am I being released on a PR?
I'll tell you this, Ms. Shelton, just to be safe here, we're gonna remand him till December 20th, and I'll let you revisit the bond on that time, okay?
So hold up, I don't even get what, you're just gonna frustrate me. Let's just end it now and I'm done. I'm not.
All right, so I'm gonna remand defendants
Not doing it.
till December 20th, 2022.
I'm not doing it.
12/20/22, and Judge Buchanan can revisit this at the pretrial. Anything else for the records in docket 2202-986 and 2103-269? Ms. Shelton. All right, thank you. That's all for the record in that file. Thank you, Ms. Shelton. I don't think she liked that.
Do you want to have cats in?
Yes.
I was down there when he got booked yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's the reason why he's on that mobile device, but.
I haven't heard on anything.
Mr. Gann, we'll call your case. So we're on the record in docket 22-01737. That is Y-Site LLC versus Shay Costin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yes, sir. Steve Gann, P7829 for the plaintiff on this matter.
And sir, you are Shay Costin?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can hear me all right, Mr. Costin?
Yes, Your Honor.
To indicate the record of this case that I know it, there was personal service for the first pretrial on July 20th when both parties appeared. It appeared that the tenant was had a SIRA number, made application. We placed it in abeyance for 45 days. It's taken off of abeyance on October 24th to be placed on the docket, which is why we're here today. And this is supposed to be in person, Mr. Costin. We have notes in our computer that this hearing was supposed to be in person. Did you obviously didn't know that?
No, I'm at job training. I thought it was over this like it was last time.
All right. Well, we're here now. Mr. Gann, how did you want to proceed today?
Well, at this time, Mayor, there's a considerable amount of due and owing, and he hasn't made any payments other than what was paid by SIRA on his behalf back in August. He had some SIRA payment back in April, some in August, and nothing since then. His current balance is $64.20 plus court fees. So at this time, I'd like to move for a judgment on this matter.
And what are court fees in this?
Court fees total of $212.88.
Mr. Costin, this has been placed on abeyance until moving today, and it appears that there was some rental assistance, but did not take care of the balance, or nothing's been done on the current balance. Is that your understanding, sir?
Yes, I thought Sarah was supposed to take care of it while and I was looking for new housing because I never signed a new contract or anything.
All right, well, let's do this. Mr. Gann, would you be amenable to sharing those numbers with Mr. Costin if I put you on an iPad and I put you in a breakout room with him?
Absolutely are.
And then we can come out and put it on the record. And if there's a way of resolving this by conditional dismissal or something along those lines. But I'm going to have you, Mr. Costin, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with Mr. Gann, the lawyer who's here for the hearing. And he's going to follow my court officer. We'll place you both in a breakout room. Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Follow my court officer. Thank you. So, Ms. Wilson, are you here for Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right. So that's on Douglas Bloomfield and Shelton Stewart.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're Mr. Stewart. Go ahead and come up here. All right. We're on the record in docket 22-02-167. That is Douglas Bloomfield versus Shelton Stewart. Will the parties please identify themselves for the record?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Candace Wilson appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
And sir, you are Shelton Stewart?
Yes, sir.
This is time set for a formal hearing in the matter. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, if I could note for the record that Mr. Stewart has left the property, so possession is not an issue at this point. And there is rent due in this matter, in addition to some additional damages as a result of the move out. So Mr. Brown has requested that he be allowed an opportunity to file an amended complaint and set this on the general civil docket, since possession is no longer an issue.
Okay. So you understand today what they're requesting, Mr. Stewart, is that it be taken off the landlord-tenant docket because possession has been provided. You no longer live at the residence. However, there's back rent and there's a money complaint as a part of this, and they've asked for that to be put on the general civil docket, which takes it off the landlord-tenant docket. Do you understand that, sir? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. That would end the landlord-tenant time in regards to that. But that may give rise to a civil complaint concerning the money damages because a supplemental complaint was filed in this case. So it would just be as to the civil damages and the back rent, because possession is no longer a part of this. Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, I like to know like how much he's trying to say I owe.
Okay. Do you have a number for the amount for Mr. Stewart?
I do, Your Honor. $6,055, and that includes past due rent. And there's been an additional charge for move out damages and removal of trash of $1,145. That $6,055 number does include the extra amount.
So that $6,055 is both is the past rent and then damages that would go towards the property itself.
Correct, Your Honor. Court costs
So
are.
that's go ahead, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Court costs are $239.44.
All right. Is that in that $6,055 number?
No, it is not, Your Honor. The total with court costs would be $6,294.44.
So that would be the civil amended complaint that they would be filing. They could always refile a civil complaint. This would be the amended complaint. But what it would do is we put it on the civil docket, take it off the landlord tenant docket, and then you would decide how you're gonna how you're gonna answer that civil complaint. Go ahead.
Well, I have pictures and receipts and stuff that I have bought in the house, like far as furnace and the damage, pictures of the damages too, of stuff growing inside the house, raccoons making their way in the house. They never even, and then when you email them or anything, he come off rude, like talk to you, yeah, like just disrespect.
Yeah. So ma'am, the recorder can only hear one at a time. Ms. Wilson, they do appear like they are disputing the money action here. There doesn't seem to be any dispute that you are no longer in possession of the facilities, correct? That's the apartments. So what my inclination would be to do is to leave the money damages here as a part of this, because it still has to do with the landlord tenant. You did file a supplemental complaint that I see in this regard. That was that's the 970 per month supplemental complaint. Is that correct, Ms. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for formal hearing, reset it just on the money itself, not on possession anymore. Okay, just on the money. And what I'd like you to do is bring any evidence you have in that regard, photographs, anything in regard to me that day. And then Ms. Wilson, for your file, you indicate that will be live. You might want to bring the property manager. It would just be a hearing on the outstanding balance, not on possession anymore, since possession has been turned over. So we'll get a new date from January. We're into February now, so I've got it. I think I've got it. No, I'm afraid to put on the civil docket because we still have landlord tenant implications. So let's set it for, look how efficient Nathaniel was. We did 13, we still had 30, you know. So let's set it for February 8th, 2023 at 1:30. So let's do that, and understanding that we're just on the money part and we're still a part of the rent, past rent due, but not possessions. So we'll set it for that date. That'll be live in person. What I'm asking you to do, since you're unrepresented, is, you know, you can get a lawyer to represent you. And we will give you a notice of that. There's a number for legal services. We have a notice for legal services, don't we? Yeah. So they're always available to talk to, and you might make application for representation in that matter. However, if that's not a thing that works, show up on that February 8th date with everything you want the court to consider, all right? And then we'll go from there. So Ms. Wilson, we'll set it for hearing just on the money portion.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And I guess it would be the past rent portion too. Is that right?
Your Honor, would we be permitted to file amended complaint to allege the additional damages?
Yeah, you can, if you can file the amended complaint and make sure that the Stewarts have it, we'll keep that date just as a control date. And then maybe you can work something out along those lines. If not, we'll keep that date in line for the amended complaint. That way we don't have another pretrial set and all these things keep just being kicked for later dates. We'll set that date for February 8th, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. And if I might inquire of Mr. Stewart, could he provide an address for mailing of the amended complaint? Because we don't appear to have a current address for him.
What would be your current address so they can file it, so they can mail you the amended complaint?
2515 Linlawn Avenue.
So it's 2515.
Linlawn Avenue.
And it's Lynn?
Linlawn.
Okay. Lynn, Linlawn Lawn Avenue. Is that Lansing, Michigan?
Lansing, Michigan, 48910.
Lansing, Michigan, 48910.
2515 Lynn Lawn Avenue, Lansing, 48901.
Correct. That's what I have.
Thank you very much.
She said 01, I said.
Okay, so it's 48910.
10, I'm
The zip
sorry.
code. Yep.
10,
All right. And
sorry.
then, yeah, if you file that amended complaint, but we'll keep that February 8th date as a control date.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else for the record in docket 2202167, Ms. Wilson?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Stewart, you'll get the amended complaint. We've got a control date just on the money damages portion. And then we'll bring if it's not resolved, bring any evidence for you that you want the court to consider. Make sure it's brought, not like on a phone or anything, but it's brought something tangible, okay? All right. That's all do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record. We'll see you on February 8th, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Mr. Gann, go ahead and come up. So we're on the record in docket 2201737. That is Y-Site LLC versus Shea Costin. And Mr. Gann, did you have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Costin in a breakout room?
Not really, Your Honor. Once he identified myself, he said he did not want to speak to me without an attorney. So he's not willing to talk about the numbers or anything on this case. I really believe he's just trying to drag this out as long as possible, knowing that it's $1,000 a month in rent or $900 a month in rent. And he's just trying to see how long he can go before he can not have to pay rent.
Mr. Costin, you wouldn't speak with Mr. Gann in a breakout room? You're muted.
No, Your Honor, I've been under the care of my therapist, Sylvia Brown Jones, for about 2 years now. She diagnosed me with PTSD because of the issue that I was going through with the Judicial Tenure Commission with my mother, my adopted mother, Judge Kelly Costin, and the 3 counts of Title IX violations that my ex of 4 years did against me, and that all have been documented. All of the Title IX investigations, all of this stuff. It's not me trying to get more rent out. It is me literally not having any support system because I am adopted, and I'm literally at job training right now to try to get enough to get the fuck out, to get out of there.
Well,
that is the situation at hand.
This is
And
reset
I can get
abeyance.
letters of anything that you need.
Mr.
I can get transcripts, anything.
All right, Mr. Costin, I understand your situation. This is a reset from the abeyance. So it's placed back on. I would like to set this for formal hearing as soon as possible.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Yeah, I think that would be, Mr. Costin, what I'm gonna do is set this for formal hearing ASAP. Our formal hearings are way out, but we're gonna see if we can find one that is reasonable. Because, but Mr. Costin, this is what I'm telling you about the formal hearing that I'm setting. A, it must be in person. Okay, you must come in person. Zoom is inappropriate. You understand that? B,
yes, Your
it
Honor.
is time for you to seek legal representation. If you come here without legal representation, we're still going forward with the hearing. All right, sir?
Your Honor, I have contacted David Sucher and Clarkson. I've contacted the Abood law firm, not just regarding this kind of stuff, but also regarding, the issues with my adoptive parents, who one is an attorney and one is a judge, and with the Judicial Tenure Commission issue, and them trying to embezzle money and everything. Like, I've been trying to get a hold of attorneys, but I feel like this case obviously is quite toxic. And I mean, I'm going to bring my therapist with me, the one of over 2.5 years, so she can hopefully help advocate for me. But I have no money for this. I have no money. Like, when I tell you that everything was picked out from under me, I'm trying.
All right,
like,
Mr. Costin, you'd be an excellent candidate for Legal Services of South Central Michigan. You should contact Legal Services of South Central Michigan, make application for legal representation. That at least would making application, because you're claiming right now that you have indigent status, and if you have indigent status, then you should be marketable to them for application status.
Your Honor, I after we had the hearing last time, I talked with them, and then after a week, they told me I was not eligible.
All right. Well, your duty now is to find legal representation by this date. What date do we have?
We either squeeze it out on the Hellacious Day of December 16th, and we also have 22, Judge Buchanan's PCC.
I was gonna add it to that 27th date that I added.
All right.
Earlier.
Let's do,
Or
Mr. Gann, does December 27th work?
I can be here.
Okay.
Nice to this one, cause
Okay, so December 27th, 2022. At what time?
2:30.
At 2:30. So, Mr. Costin, you should be here in person with legal representation on December 27th at 2:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gann, that date works well with your office?
I can make it work.
All right, that's all for the record in this file docket 22-01737. Anything else, Mr. Gann?
No, sir.
Mr. Costin, do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll see you on December 27th at 2:30. Thank you for your appearance. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're on the record in docket 22-02178. That is Elaine Wilson versus Brianna Carson. This is the time set for a formal hearing. I have an indication from the previous pretrial on October 5th that the defendant was to surrender the property on October 15, 2022. This was kept on as a contact date for formal hearing on December 7th. If that did not occur, both parties have failed to appear today. So both parties have failed to appear. And therefore, I'm going to assume that the October 15th possession was given over, and I'm going to dismiss the case. And that's all for the record, docket 22-0217. There you
We're
go.
gonna have an interesting day of hearings on that 27th.
It's going to be
I was gonna
just a
say.
clown